So along your trading journey, I'm sure you guys have heard that trading is 95% patience and 5% execution. Now, this is a saying that we see online. How does this really apply to our trading? How does this really make sense when we sit down on our chair, open up the trading platform, and start looking at charts? We can read all of these sayings, all of these types of things about trading, but how do we apply it? How do we take this into a real life example? In today's video, I want to go ahead and do that. I want to share with you a trade from NVIDIA that I took yesterday and a trade that I took today on Tesla that required patience. It required me to wait for my setup to come into play. As you guys know, I trade the break and retest. I look for breaks of key levels. I look for the market to pull back to that key level, turn it into a support or a resistance, depending which way I'm trading, and then take the trade off that level. This type of strategy requires patience. It does not involve trading breakouts. It does not involve FOMOing into upside or quick downside. It requires for the stock to break, it requires for it to come back, and it requires for my setup to engage itself at that key level. If you guys are part of the Discord chat where I trade on a daily basis, you know that we continued to say on this NVIDIA trade, let's wait for the pullback. There was a lot of FOMO action going on. It was a very big key breakout above a key level. It was pushing straight to the upside, and a lot of people, including myself in the past, would try to trade this breakout. Now, when you trade this breakout, when it pulls back on you, which it almost always does, and this is where I come in. This is where I look for that pullback. I wait for those people to get out of their positions, and I look for that retest level to hold. And this is where the patience is required. And this is where that saying 95% of trading is patience, I believe, really starts to come and really starts to make a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and go over this trade today on NVIDIA, on Tesla. Let's go ahead and jump into the charts. So guys, we are on the 1 minute chart here on Tesla, and we're going to go ahead and break down this trade and really talk about the mentality behind the trade, the strategy, the patience, everything that was required to go ahead and take this position. So here's NVIDIA, and we can see that yesterday we got that quick morning downside. We created a morning high. We had a pre-market high here at around a level of 123.50. So we have that marked out. We pulled back, we came back up, and right here, we had a big breakout. Now, on this big breakout, a breakout above a high of day, there is a lot of people that will look to trade this breakout here. They'll start buying calls as we get this push. They'll say, okay, NVIDIA is going. Let's go ahead and jump into this thing. Let's trade this. There's a lot of momentum. FOMO's kicking in. I'm buying calls into this push. Now, what will almost always happen here on a breakout of high of day, especially in the market that we are in, is there will be a pullback back to that breakout level. There is almost always a pullback to that breakout level, and this is where that patience comes in, and that is where the patience of the break and retest is required. It's very difficult to watch a trade push up to the upside. It is difficult. I know this as a trader, someone that does this, that understands the psychology of trading. It is difficult to not be a part of this move because at this time, you do not know whether NVIDIA is just going to continue to run. Is this the day NVIDIA runs 5%, 6%, 7%, just go straight up to the upside, and I'm going to watch and miss out on this entire trade? There has to be something within you as a trader to only take your trading strategy, to only look for great trading setups, and to avoid chasing straight upside, avoid chasing breakouts. It's not going to come inherently. It's not going to become something that is easy to adapt. It's something that almost has to be adapted over time as you start to potentially lose on trading breakouts, as you start to get burned by chasing these types of moves. This is something that I strongly believe in and something that I have gone through myself, chasing breakouts, trading these breakouts and breakdowns, losing off of it, and understanding that there is almost always a pullback and there is almost always a second entry. Just a little bit of patience was required to find that entry. So we can see we got that breakout. We started to stall here around $124 a share. This is around where we started to stall, right up in this area. This required patience. This was around the time where I was on the chat saying, let's wait for that retest. Let's look for a pullback back to the previous highs. Let's see if NVIDIA can prove to us that it's going to hold the previous high as a support. We get that confirmation that the previous high is going to turn into support. Then we can go ahead and take our trade setup with an easy stop loss level. If it breaks the retest level, we go ahead and get out of the trade. We accept that we missed this. We accept that we took a loss. We can see that just about 15 minutes later, NVIDIA started to slip. We started to get a pullback on this level, and we started to come right back down to this previous high of 123.50 where we originally broke out from. So right here is where we broke out from around 10:03. We got the big break. We got FOMO action in the trade. We got people chasing. As we pulled back, I'm sure a lot of people were getting out. They were taking either small profits, small losers. Maybe they got in heavy looking for this breakout and got totally flipped on. Everyone that sort of got in here above 123.50, everyone that chased this in this area is now probably going ahead and taking losses or getting out break even. Some people maybe held on. You can see we pulled back, and this is exactly where the break and retest comes in. You have that retest hold right there. I'm not going to go so in-depth about the break and retest. I have tons of videos on this on my channel. I really want to focus on that patience part. The patience of knowing that with a break and retest, we cannot break our strategy and trade this breakout. Let's wait for the pullback to come in. Let's be the patient ones that wait for that real good trade entry. And this is a fantastic example of it yesterday. I'll go ahead and pop up my entries and exits on the screen for you guys to see. And you can see that I was starting to enter here on this retest and was scaling out as we got that push. Now, not only was NVIDIA doing that break and retest, and not only was I watching NVIDIA to take this trade, if I go ahead and pull up the NASDAQ, over on the NASDAQ, we will see that almost the exact break and retest happened here at the exact same time as NVIDIA. And I was watching this on the NASDAQ almost as a reason to get into my NVIDIA trade. As you guys know, I watch the overall market with my individual trades, and I have been starting to trade futures themselves because of how much I do watch this NASDAQ and S&P 500 futures. What you'll see is that at the exact same time, we had a break and retest of the pre-market high right here on the NASDAQ. And when I started to see the NASDAQ start to push around this 10:17, 10:18 a.m. Eastern time, as I started to see it curl off that break and retest of the previous high, and previous high, break, retest, as that was happening, the exact same time as NVIDIA. If I go to yesterday's price action on NVIDIA, you will see exact same time, 10:17, 10:18, break and retest on the NASDAQ, break and retest on NVIDIA, a fantastic trade setup, which required patience. The patience to wait for the pullback, the patience to wait for the pullback, for the entry, for everything to line up, rather than just taking calls on the breakout, watching it maybe give you a few points, or turning around and making it a losing trade, losing on the pullback, and then watching NVIDIA continue higher. I'm sure a lot of us have been in that situation. We chase a move, it pulls back, it then holds up, it moves higher. We didn't get in the second time. We watched the stock go higher. We all know that vicious cycle. That's a cycle we do not want to be involved in. And what takes us out of that cycle is patience. It's a strategy, and it's sticking to that strategy. For me, it's the break and retest. For you, it's something else potentially, but I just wanted to show you in today's video on NVIDIA here, the perfect retest that happened, which required patience, belief in the strategy, and waiting for that setup to occur. Now, you may have heard me say Tesla instead of NVIDIA in the beginning of the video, and that was not on purpose, but maybe it's because this was in my head here on your charts. This is Tesla from today, and I just want to share with you guys how identical this chart is and how this break and retest happens all of the time. Whether you believe that this happens, whether this strategy works, there is proof right on the charts for you guys to see that this happens almost every single day. You can see here on Tesla, we had a pre-market high of $252. We went ahead, opened, and rejected off that level right here. When we broke out of this position, or when we broke out of this channel, right around 10:05 a.m., we had a breakout. Probably a lot of money to be made on that breakout. I am not doubting that, and I am not denying that. There is money to be made on the breakout. However, for a newer trader, if you don't know when to get out and you don't know how to scale out of your positions, this pullback is deadly. This pullback will make you go red. It will make you panic. It will make you emotional. I like to avoid that. I like to avoid those types of emotions getting into my trades. You can see if you got that push, you scale out on the push, well done. Congratulations. Good breakout trade. On the pullback, a little bit of patience for that break and retest to set up. You can see right here, we had the pullback right to the previous breakout point, previous rejection, breakout point, retest. Look at the hold on the retest. Absolutely perfect. You get in there on the retest. I went ahead and got in on this retest. Look for that continuation. Scale out as you get your move. Perfect example again on a Tesla, almost identical to yesterday's NVIDIA chart. I'm going to go ahead and pull up them both side by side. On the left side of your screen, this is NVIDIA. This is the trade that I took yesterday, the break and retest. You guys can see break and retest. There's your entry. Today, here is Tesla, trade that I took as well. Break and retest. Look how similar these two charts are. It is pretty crazy to see. It is pretty wild. It sort of blew my mind today about how simple this can be if you're looking at these two charts, how identical they are when you have some real market price action and when you look for those break and retest. So I hope that you guys did get a little bit from this video. Hopefully there were some topics in the video that you did sort of relate to, waiting for those retests, not trading that breakout, having that patience in your positions, waiting for your strategy to set up. Look for those retests. I promise they happen all of the time. This is something that I really want to get across from this video and on my channel. I probably sound like a broken record, but this happens so much, and it's something I really want people to learn. If you're trying to look for a strategy out there, if you're sort of all over the place and you're watching this video, give this a shot. Trade it for a couple weeks. Trade it for a month. Look for those break and retest. Draw them out on your chart. Start to get used to them, and you will start to see, as you start to get used to looking for it, you will start to see them everywhere. It will start to make your trading much more structured. It will give you that strategy that you're looking for. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, I hope that you are profitable using it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.